So I've pretty much just watched the final two sagas of Dragon Ball, which is the Piccolo and Piccolo Jr. sagas, and I've got to be honest with you guys, I think these two sagas are the best sagas in the entire Dragon Ball series so far. I really enjoyed a lot of aspects in these two sagas, as they both did a phenomenal job at expanding the world, a bit of the lore, getting better character developments, and a time skip as well. Let's talk about the first saga and talk about what I liked about it. This arc immediately goes into a serious direction with the death of Krillin, which was a bit surprising, but it being a Shonen Jump series, I of course knew that Krillin was going to somehow make it. The characters' reactions were really heartbreaking as they saw their poor little Krillin boy dead on the ground, especially Goku. My gosh, Goku is always seen as this energetic, happy-go-lucky kid, but seeing Krillin like this, man, it breaks your heart watching Goku. Moving on from this, one of my favorite episodes, titled Tien's Atonement, has Tien confront one of the fighters he fought in the past and really injured to the point where his life has been altered and affected. We as the audience already know that Tien has made up and really wants to do better in life, but seeing how that another person Tien affected in the past, it was all good stuff in this moment. But is it me, or did the guy easily forgive Tien a little bit too quickly? He was like, no, I won't forgive you. No, I won't forgive you. I forgive you. I would have liked a bit more tension, but it is what it is, dude. King Piccolo is also a very interesting villain, how he comes off as your generic mustache twirling villain who just wants to take over the world, but he has a fear over the evil containment rice cooker box thing that sealed him long ago. Just seeing Piccolo get so frightened and scared like a little boy was interesting to see, yet jarring. But mate, the way Piccolo creates his sons, yuck, at least put a content warning before that, especially for people who are watching this while eating their dinner. Going back to Tien, I liked how he was the one to want to try and master the evil containment wave technique, knowing that he may or may not lose his life in the process. I really respected this dude in this moment. I thought the final battles were really entertaining and really well animated. But let me talk about what I didn't like about this arc. I must admit, the scenes of Goku and Yajiroji trying to find the ultra divine water in those icy lands, I think the pacing was a tad slow at times, but that was it more or less. And I'm a little bit mixed on the whole concept of the Dragon Balls, how they can just bring people back to life, in a way. When the dragon was destroyed and the Dragon Balls were rendered useless, I thought, oh my gosh, maybe Master Roshi and Krillin are well and truly gone. I thought maybe Krillin may come back to life some way, somehow, but Master Roshi, being this old sensei to Goku, may end up fading away, leaving it up to the next generation to deal with the villains. But no, the Dragon Balls brought them back to life. It's not a bad thing, it's just making me now conscious that in the future, if a character is on death's door, they've just got the Dragon Balls. So I'm going into the future of Dragon Ball Z knowing that most of the characters won't perish, and pretty much by the end of the show they're all going to be alive and well. But speaking of the revival of Krillin and Master Roshi, this leads into the next saga, which is pretty much the final saga, the King Piccolo Jr. arc. I'll talk about the few episodes leading up to the time skip, where Goku goes to the palace above the clouds, learning that the souls of the people who were murdered by King Piccolo will just stay in limbo and will never go to the afterlife, was pretty haunting and really dark and depressing to think about. I'm sure the 4Kids version of this episode had to find a way to make it kid friendly and not make kids think too deeply about this topic. But I really like these episodes because we get to lore. We finally dive more into the plot and the lore of Dragon Ball, and we learn where the Dragon Balls came from. The ruler of the temple above the clouds created the Dragon Balls. I was even quite surprised to find out that the pole Goku has been using throughout this entire series was originally designed to go from Korin's tower up to the top of the lookout. We then are greeted by Mr. Popo, a controversial character that I've always known about, alongside Goku, Bulma, Master Roshi, Vegeta, Piccolo, Trunks. Mr. Popo is another character that I've always known about through memes and just pop culture references. The character is very soft and calm and isn't as disrespected as I thought he was going to be. I guess it's just his character design that's controversial. It is what it is. Moving on from this, when they revealed Kami for the first time, I was honestly quite shocked. But after he explained it, I think the shock wore off afterwards, but it's nice seeing Master Roshi and Krillin back alive, and now Goku had to train with Kami for 3 years as part of their agreement, and we don't see the gang until 3 years later, and holy moly, Goku went through a huge glow up. I mean, pretty much all the characters like Bulma and Yamcha, and even Krillin had a bit of a glow up, but Goku was the one that transformed the most. I loved seeing all the characters' reactions because their reactions was pretty much my reaction. I had this shocked face as well. The first time skip from Goku being 12 to 15, Goku's design didn't change that much. Maybe his neck got a little bit longer, but pretty much the same. But from 15 to 18, they definitely had to change his design because now he's an adult. And yeah, his voice is different. Not gonna lie, I was a bit worried going into this, thinking that his new voice wouldn't match the same original happy-go-lucky attitude his old voice was. But to my surprise, this new voice is pretty much in line with who Goku is. And honestly, it definitely makes the show more interesting having Goku more mature and older. Not gonna lie, Krillin's voice actor on the other hand, using a similar voice of Usopp from One Piece in the dub was distracting at first, but I'm pretty much getting used to it now. Once again, we have a third tournament, and I think this is the best one so far. I really enjoyed the fights a lot in this arc. Once again, I was quite surprised to see the return of Mercenary Tao. His fight against Tien was pretty emotional for Tien in particular. Seeing all those flashbacks of him training with Mercenary Tao in the past and being called a loser, pathetic, and a weakling. Seeing the way his two masters back in the old days treated him with no respect and just a tool for their school more or less explains why Tien was the way he was and why he was so cold, tough, and unlikable. I also quite liked Goku and Chi-Chi's fight. Again, Chi-Chi returns looking all grown up and completely different to how she looked before. No wonder Goku didn't recognize her. I wouldn't recognize her. Even Yamcha didn't recognize her. But we're reminded that Goku did in fact imply that they were going to get married when they were kids, but Goku didn't even understand what marriage was as a concept. And that explains why Chi-Chi is super mad at Goku, but after the fight, Goku then mans up and actually takes responsibility for what he said. He promised to this girl that he'd married her, so that's what he's gonna do. He's going to marry Chi-Chi, and I really like this because it shows us how Goku has truly grown up and matured. The young Goku would absolutely not even consider the possibility of doing something like this. He'd probably just walk away and just do something else, but now that Goku has grown up, he's a little bit more aware of people's feelings and emotions. But man, I have never been as disappointed in a character as much as I was disappointed in Yamcha. Not for the writing, I think the way he was written in this moment was actually really good. It fits Yamcha's character, how sometimes Yamcha can get a bit too cocky and arrogant, and the way he completely underestimated Hero in this moment, coming off as this frail old man who ends up absolutely embarrassing Yamcha throughout the entire match. A good lesson in never ever underestimating your opponents. Hero actually being Kami, who wants to try and take out King Piccolo, who's now a grown adult. Goku and Tien's fight was another fight that I really liked, and it shows us how Naruto was heavily inspired by Dragon Ball. The scene of Goku taking off his armbands and shoes which have weights on, very reminiscent of Rock Lee taking off the weights when he fought Gaara, showing us the immense amount of strength Goku has attained in these 3 years. I did enjoy the final fights between Goku and Piccolo. It got pretty dark sometimes. There was a moment where Goku thought he won and then Piccolo shot him in the chest. That really came out of nowhere and it really shook me awake. But after Goku defeats Piccolo, he chooses not to kill him, as killing him would end up killing Kami, and he doesn't want that. I wonder if this is going to be a mistake Goku may regret in the future, keeping this dude alive. And what's going to happen to him? Is he going to be arrested? The ending didn't really make it clear what happened to Piccolo, but regardless, Goku just wants a nemesis to keep fighting over and over again. And that's pretty much how the series ends. We do have a wedding dress saga that I did watch. It was a little pointless, I'm not going to lie. It didn't really serve anything. We just see Goku and Chi-Chi work together to try and find certain items to take out the flames in Chi-Chi's father's palace place. The only thing this saga did was just show us more Chi-Chi, but the development in this wedding dress saga didn't amount to anything. But it is what it is. It was short and harmless. Overall, I really have enjoyed this saga, these two Piccolo sagas. sagas. They were very entertaining, and the entire Dragon Ball show was a treat to watch. I now understand this world of Dragon Ball and the characters, and I finally understand the hype and love this series has been getting over the years. It's been a roller coaster of a ride. I was quite surprised that not many opening and endings changed throughout the series. They just stuck to one, which I quite liked. But overall, I think I'll give these two sagas definitely a 9 out of 10 and an A. Pacing issues were apparent in some episodes, but nothing too egregious. And I think I'll give the entire first series Dragon Ball an 8.5 out of 10. A very good anime. So now I'm about to start Dragon Ball Z, or should I watch Kai? It's the same show, I know, but that's going to be the sequel and I'm looking forward to it. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of this review? Did you like the arcs? Did you hate them? Should I just watch Z or Kai? Which do you prefer? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more Dragon Ball reviews, as well as other anime updates and all that jazz. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy do the views signing out.